Today, I want to talk to you about a new Netflix documentary called Abducted in Plain Sight. This is a twisting, turning, stranger than fiction's true story of the Brobergs, a naive, church-going Idaho family that fell under the spell of a sociopathic neighbour with designs on their 12-year-old daughter. It was 1974, and 12-year-old Jan Broberg was abducted from a small community in Idaho. When she was returned 5 weeks later, she assured her parents and the courts that nothing had happened, enabling a paedophile to go free and paving the way for Jan's second abduction and years of sexual, emotional, and psychological abuse. I'm going to talk to you about this today in a review style, just letting you know my thoughts about what I've watched. I would be really interested to hear if you have watched this documentary and your thoughts on it. Hi guys, and welcome back to Lisa Loves. This is a true story. This is why I wanted to cover this one. I was just watching this completely aghast at what I was seeing. This follows a family in Idaho in the 70s. I think it's 1974 we start, and it follows a family called the Brobergs. Husband and wife, 3 daughters. They're church-going people from a community it's very sort of like God-fearing community, that sort of thing. Everyone knows everyone else's business, that sort of community. A gentleman comes into their life and the community's life by the name of B. Birchtold. He's like a pillar of society. Everyone likes him. He's like a successful businessman. He's a churchgoer. But if people looked into his past, they would find out that he has a history with young girls. Need I say more? He ingratiates himself to this couple and he immediately has a fixation with their young daughter, Jan. The fixation begins when she is very young, perhaps 9. But when she turns 12, he actually abducts her, takes her away for 5 weeks from her family. His wife comes over to the parents' house and manages somehow. Now their 12-year-old daughter has just been abducted. He was meant to be taking her to play bowling and he's disappeared, and she has disappeared with him. B. Birchtold's wife manages to convince the parents not to contact the police for several days. So their 12-year-old daughter has gone missing and they're not calling the police. On the road, now this girl is 12 but she's very naive for her age. She's from a God-fearing community. She knows the Bible. She knows all of the history of Mary and, the birth of Jesus and all this stuff. So she is told by Mr. Birchtold, a little cassette player is put beside her, and in a really warped, metallic sounding voice, she is told that the 2 aliens are speaking to her. I'm being perfectly serious here, and she believes this. These 2 aliens are telling her that the fate of the world, of the earth, relies on her giving birth to the child that is going to save the world. And she must have this child with B. Birchtold, with this older man, much older man, middle-aged man. And if she doesn't, her father will be killed, her sister, one of her sisters will go blind, and the other sister will be abducted, and she will be used for these purposes. Now this sounds like she hated this man and she did this unwillingly, but she develops, I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome or what it is, but she develops a love for this man and she convinces herself she's in love with him. He obviously is abusing her, he's having sex with her, and he convinces her that they should be married. He wants to marry her, she wants to marry him. He tries to set it up like him and the girl have been abducted, but unfortunately there are things that he doesn't do properly, like blood is on the outside of a car window instead of the inside, because he's punching the car out instead of someone punching the car window in. There's lots of little reasons, but basically, to cut a long story short, he brings Jan back. He manages to ingratiate himself back into the family fold. Yes, he had her for 5 weeks. She's in love with him. Now this is not a young man, this is an older man we're talking about here. In the midst of all this, what's revealed is that B. Birchtold has worked on the mother and has told her all the things that she's not hearing from her husband.
He could give me a great feeling about myself. I was attracted to him.
about, well, you've got such an amazing body, you've got beautiful legs. Now, personally, as a married woman, that's not going to be said to me for a second unless someone's like coveting someone that's like spherical shaped. But if someone said to me as a married woman those sort of things, I would think, you creepy bastard. You know, I wouldn't think, oh, I'm so complimented, I'm so flattered by that. There's such a thing as a nice compliment. You look nice, that your hair's nice, what you're wearing's nice, and there's such a thing as creepiness. Oh, your body's like, ugh. So one thing leads to another, and she falls into an affair with this gentleman. In the meantime, he has also made a move on the husband, and the husband and him start a threesome, not a relationship, a sexual thing, where they just meet and do what they want to do.
Mr. Berchtold had such an effervescent, wonderful personality. We became very good friends.
So this man is sleeping with both parents. He is abusing the daughter, and he convinces the parents, let's take another step. He abducts the girl a second time. And when they want to press charges, he says, if you press charges against me, I am going to release all this dirty laundry about me and you to public. Now remember, I said God-fearing community. He's going to release all this information. So this couple allow their child to be abused by a paedophile for want of, just let's be blunt about this, because they don't want the community to know that they've both had an affair with him. It's just scandalous. You have to watch this. You especially have to listen to the mother of Jan, Mrs. Berchtold, talking about her relationship with B and talking about how she feels about him and how he made her feel inside. And when you think about what he did to their daughter, it makes your skin crawl, and what they've been through together. I watched this and I was aghast. I couldn't believe what I was watching, what I was listening to as a parent, that someone has allowed their daughter to go through that. And she was brainwashed. She was in love with this man. They wrote to each other for years.
I loved him as deeply as I've ever loved anyone.
Now, as an adult, obviously she has faced him in court, and she has told him what she thinks of what he did to her, and he still maintains he did nothing wrong, that she willingly went with him, that they were in love. He doesn't see the issue or the problem with having a fixation with a girl that was 9 when it started.
My brother was always a sexual pervert. He always did like his little girls.
But it's a really captivatingly interesting story. It's on Netflix at the moment. It's called Abducted in Plain Sight. I would just really like to know your guys' opinion on this. If you've seen it, what did you think? As a parent, I was personally really disturbed by the actions of her parents. It just, my mind boggles. I can't get my head around it at all. Have you seen this? If you have, what did you think of it? Let me know below in the comments. Well, how does it sound plausible to you? I don't mean plausible in that it did happen, it's a true story, it's real. But I cannot imagine allowing someone to do that to a child of mine to protect my modesty because I'm off having affairs. It's just, and not once he abducted her, but twice. It's a miracle the girl didn't fall pregnant. The man had the cheek to contact her parents and ask for them to sign her off as being able to marry him. They got married in, was it Spain, where it's illegal to marry a 12-year-old, and they got married, but it wasn't recognised as illegal in the United States, and this guy tried to convince her parents to sign her over to him. And if you don't do this, I'm going to tell everybody that we're doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, watch it, guys. It's honestly, it's mind-boggling. Let me know your thoughts, and I will speak to you again next time. Over and out from Lisa Lives.